Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio. Your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Hello and welcome. What happens when a woman stops asking for permission and waiting to be told, okay, now is your time to shine? We are going to discuss this conversation today with my special guest, Catrina Parkinson, who is an author, a poet, and a wellness advocate. She's doing incredible work. She is joining us from the UK. Let's welcome her to the program, Iconic Women. Hello and welcome.
Hello, and thank you for having me on the show.
It's an absolute pleasure. I just want to give a shout out to our dear friend, Mr. Ian Pelham Turner, for the introduction. And this is such an important topic. We were just speaking briefly backstage. We're both over 50. And it used to be that when a woman was over 50, it was a curse. It was, oh my gosh, you're no longer relevant.
I know.
You don't have the same looks and the same energy and the same appeal. But we know that is rubbish. So I want to dive into it. Tell us a little bit about what you're doing in terms of creativity and expression, and then we'll get into the topic.
Okay. So I'm an artist, a self-taught artist, and I mainly draw portraits of people. I do animals sometimes, but I do portraits, and I work in graphite as well as charcoal. I was actually initially only working in graphite, but just last year I did a course with Calvin Okafor, and that is what helped me to introduce charcoal into my drawings, and that just gives it a more of a realistic look. So yes, as you can see, those are some of the portraits that I've done. One of my favorites, the Queen. And yes, I just completed Michael Jackson quite recently.
I'm sorry, the detail work is unbelievable. how long does it typically take you to do one of these pieces?
Well, like you're saying, detail. So that all depends on how complicated or how complex it is. So it can take me anything from 25 to about 60 to 80 hours. So the more complex, then yeah, that takes quite a lot of time. As you can see, that eye over there, that took about 80 hours to do that eye.
It's incredible. And are your pieces of art available for purchase, or do you do this for yourself?
No, they are available for purchase. So yes, I do sell some of my artwork other than the commissions. The commissions, of course, that's people's personal stuff, but the ones that I do put up for sale.
Fantastic. Okay, so what is it that inspired you to start doing this meaningful work? Or did you already know that you had a talent from maybe when you were very young?
The crazy thing is I don't actually think I was talented in drawing, right? It's just something that I enjoyed doing, and especially because I had an older sister. And she passed away when I was 7. She was 12. She passed away. She had a heart complication, holding a heart leaking valve. And she had to come to the UK where she had a heart operation. So when she passed away, it was quite a lonely place for me. And I found solace in drawing. So I started drawing at school at, say, about 7, 8. But I wasn't so great. But I just fell in love with it. So continue doing that. I would say up until I was in secondary school, there was a kind of improvement, but not as much as I would have liked. And then I found the grid system, which is where you draw squares on your pictures, on your drawings, and that just helps to bring out the right proportions. And that's where the shift happens. So I would have been about 16 or 17 at the time. So did that, and you could see an improvement. But then shortly after finishing school, I got married. Got married very young, so I was about 20. So I had to put my art aside for a while. So I was doing bits and pieces where I could in between having children. The crazy thing again is that I found that even coming back again, I would go for like 3, 4 years without drawing and come back to it, and I would still find that I developed even more. So I put it to, I think there's a part of your brain that kind of like switches over. So you start to see things in a more heightened way, I would say. So I could see more detail. And with that, I persisted. Then I moved to the UK in I think 2010, and that put my artwork like really to a backseat because it was really busy coming to the UK, having to work, raise my kids in the UK. But it was still there. Now and again, I would do commissions for people, but not full time, I would say. And it was something that I always wanted to do, like put a lot of effort and just do as best as I could. So in 2022, I met my current partner, and he's the one who gave me that space to actually do a lot more of my artwork. And that's when I really went full blown, and you can see how it started to just get even more and more details.
Thank you for sharing that. I think what's so interesting is you mentioned from when you were younger, and then you kind of put your art on hold, and then when you came back with a heightened awareness. Many times when we are younger, someone tells us that we're no good at something. Don't waste your time doing this because you're not talented enough, or you'll never make it. And it sounds like in your case, that wasn't really the case. It's not something that you were doing full time. But then as you got older and you meet this partner, this wonderful person you're with today, who says, you know what, take the time, make the
Yeah,
investment in this because there's something really there. And you've gotten that support, which is key.
yeah, absolutely. That just gave me that shift, and I thought, you know what, this is my time, and let me do it. And that's why I even did the course to add the charcoal to it, because I needed to just lift it that much more. And as you can actually see the before pictures, even though they're detailed, once I started introducing the charcoal, it just gave that more realistic, appeal and vision to it. And yeah, so I'm really happy with that. Although as an artist, you never feel like you're at your end game. It's always with every piece that I do, the next one I want to be even better.
We're looking here on your Instagram for anyone who's interested and would like to follow. We have the link there on the screen. When would you say you actually made this transition that you were talking about from the earlier pieces until when you started incorporating charcoal?
I would say starting from 2025.
So it's been recent. And so all of these
Yeah,
images, which are absolutely stunning, what year are
yeah,
these
those
from?
these are 2025, 2026.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how many pieces of art will you actually create, let's say in a month?
Oh, that depends on how much time I have. I would say tops two.
It's amazing. So
Yeah.
for anyone who's watching and would like to make a purchase, how do they go about doing that?
So currently, I'm in the process of opening up a website. I'm working with someone to do that, but for the time being, I'm still using my Instagram. So anyone who would like a commission portrait, they can just send me a message, and I would give them the details, the pricing, how long it takes, and what sort of pictures I work with.
Absolutely stunning. I see one or two that I like myself, by the way, I'll be talking to after this show. So we now have your Instagram. We're going to be putting that up right now. So the purpose of the show today is to talk about finding your voice, finding our voice. I found myself through media and through publishing books that I was able to express some of the things that have happened to me. And so there might be somebody out there today or somebody watching in the future who is going through something and it is affecting their physical and mental health. What would you share with them about using creativity to get out some of what's inside?
Oh, it's one of the best ways because, like I said, I used my art when my sister passed away, and that just helped me. I think it helped me deal with the loss as well. But the other thing that has helped me a lot is writing. So poetry is the other thing that I do. And with the poetry, that was a big factor with dealing with my mom because my mom has some mental health issues. And I would sometimes get really frustrated, and I would write. And I would write, poetry based on whatever I was feeling. And sometimes I'll come back and look at it and think, who wrote that? Did I write that? Because it would be so good. And I would afterwards, I would also feel mentally more able to deal with something. I really, really feel that that has helped me mentally a big, big deal because I've also got a daughter who's autistic. So I deal with her on a regular basis, and that can be very draining at times. But art and poetry, that just keeps me going.
And you're so talented. I mean, the work that I see is just top notch. So congratulations again.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
In talking about being over 50, as we both are, one of the things that I notice in the media quite frequently, especially when it comes to the US with Hollywood stars, is a lot of change taking place to stay relevant, to look younger, undergoing procedures, and who knows what is all on the plate. And I'm wondering is why is it we can't just accept aging gracefully? Is it because of the pressure from society, the fact that those old norms that were not relevant once we turn 50? What do you think?
Oh, absolutely. You can see the pressure. You look at people and you think to yourself, why are you doing that? There is no need. I mean, personally, I'm one person. I have not done anything medically to my face. I just eat healthy. I exercise and mentally. And that helps me because I just feel like you get pressured into doing these things and it's just not worth it.
It's very true. Part of why I started doing this specific show, Iconic Women, was for us collectively, humanity, to realize it doesn't have to be one specific woman that you've thought of, maybe somebody that you grew up, your family member, or somebody that you saw in the media. We're all iconic in our own way. And I know I'm putting you on the spot because there's no script, but how do you feel you are iconic?
Oh, wow. I think I'm iconic just because I'm me, because I do me. I just, I try and live as authentically as I can. And I take time for me. I do my exercise, I eat healthy, and I present myself with my creativity. And that makes me iconic, I think.
I agree with you. And something that you just mentioned, what is coming up for me is, I think for me, I don't know if it's when I turned 50 or maybe 55, but at some point I stopped needing external validation. Now you may say to yourself, well, you're on television, you have a television platform, but not everybody's watching. Not everybody loves it. I don't know who loves it and who doesn't unless people reach out and let me know. But what I know is that we collectively, you being here today, we are leaving a legacy of world-class education. And so to me, that is highly relevant. So when you think about a legacy that you're leaving, how would you describe it?
Well, I think the legacy I'm leaving is the fact that you just need to be authentic and just do you. And you don't need to, like you say, you don't need to do things to please other people. You're at that stage that you do what you feel is right. And that's what I'm doing. And I hope that that's the legacy I can leave for my children and my grandchildren.
Absolutely, because people are looking to you. Obviously, you, like me, are in the public domain. I've seen a lot of your video clips. And so we can be judged. Other people can judge right now what we're wearing, what we're saying. And that's on them, really. I always feel like if people are showing up and presenting themselves in a negative way, I have to give them grace because there must be something
Yeah,
going on with them that they're just not comfortable in their own skin. And so, what I really admire about you is that you've gone through different chapters in your life, like all of us, and you're not trying to hide it. You're saying, okay, I went through this is the stage I was in, and here's where I am today. And I think that really should be commended, because if more women would be accepting of the fact that our lives do have different chapters, and we wake up and get to make a choice about where we're going today.
absolutely. And acceptance. You've got to accept what you're going through and you've got to talk to yourself, believe in yourself, pick yourself up even when you're down. And that is what helps you get through things. I never, I mean, I do, I'm a human being. So I do get to points where I'm not feeling so great. But I always think of self-talk. What do I tell myself? How do I pick myself up? And that's really important.
And you mentioned earlier that you lost a sibling, which has to be an extremely difficult thing to go through. And for many people, they never get past that. They never get past losing someone, especially someone so young. So, would you be open to sharing with us, how did you process that? And was there a point when you were so angry at the world, at a higher power, that it just stopped you for a little while?
Oh yeah, it was and it still is a hard thing because it's one of those things that losing a sibling is something you never get over. It's just a part of you. So I will say in the beginning, I was so devastated. I was so angry. And then you also have that why her? Why wasn't it me? You know, you go through the guilt process as well. And I think for me, my childhood was such that I ended up, because I did not attend my sister's funeral and I was taken away during the funeral process, I just kept on going and didn't actually have a time to actually mourn my sister's death. So life just proceeded. And then the older I got, talking to my children about it is what brought it back to the surface. Meeting my partner who allowed me to actually go to that place and actually feel that pain. So I would say I actually felt the pain even more as an adult, but it's a pain that I can deal with. You know, it's there. Or obviously there are times like during her memorials and things like that that I become more emotional. Everybody knows that. But I can put her, you know, just on the side. Like I know she's always there with me, but it doesn't consume me now, put it that way.
That's a great way of framing it up. I lost my mother in 2023, and I recently found a letter that I had written to her when I was 14, and it was a poem. And I thought to myself, you know, even though she's gone, there is this memory, and it brought up a lot of pain and feelings. So you had to have been scared at some point, I would think, as a child. And yet today you are here as this empowering, successful woman. So my question is the scared child still in there somewhere?
That scared child is a very small scared child now, because I from the time I lost my sister, I had to I had to be my own champion. I had to be the person that lifted me up and got me to the next stage. Before that, I had my sister. I didn't worry about anything because I knew she was there to sort things out. But after her passing, I found this inner strength, and and I think the short time that I was with her, she taught me a lot, and she was a very strong person. So I've always felt that I can't let you down, and I'm going to show you that I've got this, and I'm going to get there. So I just have this deep inner strength that it just keeps on going. You knock me down, I'll be up tomorrow.
I love to hear this because I have a similar attitude, but not everyone is in agreement with this kind of philosophy. You mentioned before about eating well, getting exercise. I think sleep is really important, drinking water, and mentally looking at what situations are. And I think where people sort of digress is they start calling people. What do you think about this? They start texting. Some people put a poll on social media. What do you think I should do about this? And I think when we open ourselves up like that, you can get 50% of the people saying, hey, great, and 50% saying, well, that's the most ridiculous thing. So, what would you say are some steps using art, for example? And art includes many different ways of expressing yourself to
Yes.
find that internal validation instead of looking for the external.
Well, first of all, art is it's like you're going into sort of a meditation. So it's you yourself and who you really are. And I find that that helps me to trust my gut, my instinct, because even when I'm drawing portraits, I'm always looking into it and thinking, hmm, how am I going to do this? Because when I start, crazy as it sounds, I think to myself, how am I going to accomplish this? And then I start and I trust the process. So that I will tell you is one form of finding yourself and finding your inner you.
That's so powerful, trusting yourself. But I think also when we are younger than 50, many times, at least in my life, we don't trust ourselves. We don't believe in ourselves because of things that have happened, because of things that people say, because of the circle we're in, for example. And I'm just using my own experience. And then at some point, I know with me, you start to see that life is very short and you've got less time ahead of you in this world than you do behind, and you start making different choices. So the question I have for you is, the art that you're doing, it's so expressive, it's so detailed, it takes time. How do you manage your time knowing that life is short? And if you're taking 80 hours or whatever it is, how do you incorporate that into everything that you're doing?
The thing is, because it's my joy, I don't actually see it like 80 hours. It's just my happy space. And if that's all I could do for the rest of my life, I think I'd be quite happy, to be fair. But I know what you mean about once you get to your 50s and 60s, you start to feel like you're running out of time. But I think if one is doing something that gives you so much joy, you don't see it like that. I mean, I have in a day, I normally work for about to 5 to 7 hours with breaks in between. That's if I've got nothing to do. But other than that, then I would be doing the normal stuff that we do, like cooking, taking care of the house, and other obligations. But I honestly will say that my time drawing, that is my happy space. I almost do not even see time.
I appreciate that. That is beautiful. By the way, we are showing, oh, sorry, we are showing more of your art here on the screen for
So
people.
those ones, as you go below, you will notice that that is just pencil work without the charcoal.
It's
So there
incredible.
is detail, but not as great. Oh, and that's my Makuba Award in Zambia. I won Best Female Artist. I think it was 2008. I think it was that I won that award.
Congratulations. To your earlier point, I think you said something that is really pertinent for anybody who is out there. When you love what you're doing, there is no time. And for me, I've had people say to me, "Do you ever take a vacation?" No, I do not. If it doesn't have something to do with what it is I'm doing for my business, no, I don't, because I love what I'm doing. I just was at a conference and somebody said to me, "But don't you have the day off? It's a Sunday." I'm like, I choose not to. I don't. Why would I take a day off from doing what it is that I love? So when you're really passionate about something, you can't wait to get to it and start to do it. And I think that might be the place where people get stuck. If you're not happy doing what it is you're doing, it's time to evaluate, how do I want to spend the next X number of years of my life? Because as the clock's running, I feel like we're getting additional time because we love what we're doing.
Absolutely. And you will live longer. I honestly believe if you're happy doing what you're doing, you will live longer because you're not going to be depressed.
Absolutely. So you have a very exciting new chapter coming up for you. Do you want to share that with our audience?
Yes, we can share that. I am getting married on the 1st of August. So that is
Woo!
very exciting for me right now. I'm busy sorting all of that out. I feel like I'm 21 sorting out my marriage, my wedding rather. But yeah, so
The look
very
on your
excited.
face just says it all. So,
Yeah.
in terms of finding happiness and being a wellness advocate, what do you think this new chapter of life will be like compared to being married earlier? I've been divorced for a very long time, and I'm sure if I were to get married today, it might look completely different.
Yes, this is the thing. I think when you get married when you're young, it's quite different. And the thing is, when I got married when I was younger, I was so focused on just raising my children that I didn't even care about me and what am I getting out of this. But this time round, and with my kids being all grown up and their full support, it's my time. Is it's what does Katrina need and how does Katrina feel? So it is very different, very lighter, I will say, because even in my first marriage, I don't think I was involved in the wedding. Like it was everybody else deciding what's happening. But this time I get to decide what I want, how I want it, and when I want it.
I'm so happy for you. And what I'm wondering is, you may have heard this previously as you were growing up. I know I heard it, which is, don't be so selfish. Stop thinking of yourself. You're from the me generation. How did you turn it around to, this is what I need? I have worked for this. I have earned this. It is my time.
It was a very long journey, and I think I only got it in my 40s. So when I actually see younger people figuring this out a lot earlier, I'm like very happy to see that because I was very much a people pleaser and I believed that that was my role. So I just did everything to make everybody happy, didn't care about me. And so around my 40s, I started to realize, hang on here, what about me? And it wasn't easy, I promise you, because when you've been doing things to make people happy all the time and you start to think about yourself, some people don't like you. And then you think to yourself, you have to be brave because you're like, do I really, should I do this? Should I really do this? But the moment you start to put yourself first, the feeling you get inside, that's what drives you because you start to realize that no, this feeling is good. I love this.
And the look on your face, it just tells it all. We've earned the right. That's what I want to really speak out to women who are there. You serve certain roles, you wear various hats. And while you're not complaining, inside your body may be saying, you know what, I need a break. Your mind might be saying, I need some creative outlet. So looking at what Catrina's doing, looking at what I'm doing, there's something out there for you in a creative capacity. It could be singing. It could be, there's so many different formats that it can take. But I would say to what you just said, don't wait until you're 50. Look at where your life is today and how peaceful are you and how joyful are you. So Catrina, I'm a big advocate about finding inner peace. How important do you
Yes.
think that is?
Oh, that is huge. That is huge. That is one of my big things is finding inner peace. And I try and share these kind of tips with people because you will not be happy until you find that inner peace. And when you find it, the difference it makes, like you said about myself, even your whole appearance changes. It's big. I really advocate for that as well.
For people who are out there and they're thinking, well, I'm running a household. I have a partner. I have children. This is ridiculous. I have no time for me. And if put my hand up and said, by the way, today I'm going to take a pottery class, I'm going to get pushback. So let's talk a little bit about setting boundaries. This is a very difficult topic for people because in
Yes.
order to set a boundary, you may be saying, no, not now, not today, but offering an alternative time that you can spend with someone else. So, how do you deal with things if you very politely say, I'd love to do XYZ, but I'm not able to do it right now?
Oh yeah, that's a big one. I could never say no to anything before because I always thought about the other person's feelings or am I going to hurt them and things like that. But it is so important to say no, I can't do this because of, or I can do it at a later time, and that helps you. And finding time for you can do it. I know a lot of people say they can't, but it is so important because if you don't find time for you, then you don't have anything to give out to others because you are going to get burnt out. So it is important to make time for you. Even when my kids were younger, I used to have a Friday afternoon, and that was me time. And I think it was doing that actually helped me to realize where I was at and what I needed. So it is so important, even if it's just to go do your nails, even if it's to go do some yoga once a week. You start with once a week, but it is so important.
Absolutely. And I think for me, when someone says I'm not able to do something, I'm actually appreciative because now I know that the time we would have spent might not have been valuable for the other person or for me. And so it kind of sets the stage of respect. And it's like, I respect you enough to tell you this is not going to work for me. And the other thing that people will do is they'll start giving a long explanation of excuses. Well, I can't do it because of this. And then what we naturally do is we start processing the information. Oh, okay, so what I asked this person to do isn't as important as this, and this. So I always say, no excuses. Just unfortunately, I'm not able to do it at this time, or I'd like to. Here's an alternative time. What do you think about providing excuses when you're setting a boundary?
Yes, I don't think it's great to give excuses because you end up telling this long, laborious story, which is not necessary. And as you said, you get more respect if you say, I'm really sorry, I can't do this at this time because I'm busy or I've got other commitments, as opposed to giving a ton of excuses, which are sometimes irrelevant.
Exactly. My calendar's full. My plate is full. There's no arguing
Absolutely.
with that. So when it comes to being a wellness advocate and advocating for people to take care of themselves, obviously when we are in a caretaking mode or in a role as a mother, father, custodian, etc., that can also be exhausting. So you already talked about the fact, start off with one day. Maybe it's an hour that you take for yourself. And so how do we mentally give ourselves permission? Maybe we can schedule the yoga class or we can schedule getting our nails done, but the whole time we're like, oh, no, I feel so bad doing this. How do we mentally give acceptance to do it?
You've got to start by loving yourself. You've got to love yourself enough to give yourself time to do stuff for you. And once you start doing that, you will find that it gets a lot easier, because once you feel rejuvenated, you're more able to give back to your family and whatever other things that you have to do. So start by mentally talking to yourself and start loving you.
What a beautiful way to bring our program to a close today. Start by loving yourself. Give yourself permission to say, yes, I matter. And if you are looking for a partner, to me, this is something that is really key. People will say, I'm looking for my other half. I'm looking for my better half. Do you really want half of a person? Do you want to come to the table as a half? It should be one whole and one whole. What do you say about that?
Absolutely. And to find the right partner, you've got to start with finding you and who you are. Because if you're going in as half a person looking for another half a person, that is not going to work. So find you and then find that person that complements who you are.
And once you find yourself, you can find your voice. And I promise you, you will be very attractive to other people. People will look at you and say, what is she doing? What is he doing? I want to know more. As opposed to you not loving yourself, walking around being unhappy, feeling like life is not serving you and everything is against you. So I would love for you again to share, Catrina, how can people purchase your work? Is there any information about projects that you have coming up, about commission projects, that people can get something done custom?
Yeah, so currently, like I said, I'm just working for my Instagram. If you message me through there, I can get back to you with details. As soon as my website is ready, that will be out also on my Instagram. If you're on YouTube, you can follow me on YouTube. I go under Cat's Dish 101, and you can also message me through there. But yeah, so if you find me on my Instagram or my YouTube and contact me through there, I will be gladly able to give you as much information and how long it takes to do any of the commissions.
Thank you again for being here. I really appreciate it. I know that your plate is full also. So I wish you a very happy and successful marriage. I know I will be speaking to you again soon. I really want to thank you. I've learned a lot from you being here today, and I just want you to know how inspiring you are.
Thank you very much for having me on your show. I really appreciate it, and I am very happy. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye for now.
Bye.
Wherever it is that you're watching, we're streaming on many platforms. Please do consider subscribing to our YouTube channels, where we have earned the YouTube Silver Creator Award for over 100,000 subscribers on USA Global TV and Radio, and we are actively approaching 40,000 on Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. We started that channel 2 years approximately after the first one. Okay, do you think you have what it takes to be a TV show host? Let's find out. We are recruiting new TV show hosts, especially people who speak languages other than English. We currently have shows in English, German, and French. What are the requirements? That you are coachable, that you are trainable, that you are open to feedback. And of course, a fee does apply because we provide an entire package of marketing, search engine optimization, distribution, and production. Take a look at this clip so that you can learn more. Thanks again for being here. We'll be back with our next show.
Hey, you. Psst. Yes, you, watching this right now. Are you creating content, a blog, a podcast, a newsletter, going live on Instagram or TikTok, and still not seeing real visibility or growth? Here's why. Anyone can post, anyone can go live, but not everyone is positioned to be taken seriously. Right now, people are going to YouTube to search for experts, for answers, for credibility. So while you're putting in the work, someone else is being seen as the authority. Not because they know more, because they're positioned better. Now imagine this. Your own professionally produced TV show, marketed, distributed, optimized with SEO so people can actually find you. Not just seen, but searchable, discoverable, positioned. You're trained, you're coached, you're guided. No experience necessary, but you do have to be coachable, because this is about stepping into a higher level. This isn't about doing more, it's about doing it right. We've already built the platform, 2 YouTube channels, a global audience, a Silver Creator Award. So the question is, how much longer are you going to rely on temporary visibility when you could be building real authority? If you're ready to be seen differently, go to usaglobaltv.com and apply to host your own show. This is for individuals who are serious about investing in their visibility, their credibility, and their growth. If that's you, we're ready. USA Global TV and Radio, where your voice becomes your platform. Executive producer, Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Videographer, Paul Garcia. Voiceover, Ed Vargas. All rights reserved. This production is the exclusive property of the USA Global TV and Radio and may not be reproduced, distributed, or used without written permission.
My Tummy Hurts by Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Meet Jackie. She loves recess, running with friends, and laughing on the playground. At school, Jackie tries to play like she always does, but suddenly the pain comes back. Lately, something feels different and her tummy hurts, sometimes a little and sometimes a lot. With the help of a caring teacher, a nurse, her mom, and a kind doctor, Jackie begins to understand what her body is trying to tell her. Sometimes tummy pain is more than a simple bellyache. Some children live with conditions like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's disease. Jackie listens to her body. She asks for help. She knows she's not alone. And Jackie finds her way back to running, laughing, and being herself. My Tummy Hurts, a kid's guide to bellyaches and bathroom troubles by Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck, available on Amazon and in fine bookstores around the world.
Ever dreamed of hosting your own TV show, sharing your story with a global audience? Now's your chance to shine. At USA Global TV and Radio, we make it easy for you to create, host, and broadcast your very own TV show. Whether you're a storyteller, entrepreneur, or industry expert, we help you bring your vision to life. With our exclusive interview, live streaming, and podcasting training, you'll gain the skills and confidence to captivate your audience. Our global platform ensures your voice is heard worldwide. Join our community of creators who are already making an impact, one show at a time. Step into the spotlight. Host your own TV show on USA Global TV and Radio. Book your discovery call today at usaglobaltv.com. Copyright 2025 USA Global TV and Radio. All rights reserved. Terms and conditions apply. To learn more, visit usaglobaltv.com.
How much of your value have you been giving away? Saying yes when the answer should have been no? Lowering your price to secure the opportunity? Giving more while receiving less? Over time, it adds up. Until one moment brings clarity, you've been giving away your value. This is not about working harder. This is not about doing more. It's about boundaries. It's about pricing. It's about respect. From Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck comes a direct and necessary message. Stop over-delivering. Stop underpricing your expertise. Stop negotiating against yourself. Because when you recognize your value, everything changes. Stop giving away your value. Boundaries, Pricing, and the Business of Respect. Available now wherever fine books are sold and on Amazon. A film by USA Global TV and Radio. Executive producer Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Videographer and cinematic production Paul Garcia. Voiceover by Ed Wargas. Stop giving it away. Start owning it.
Thank you, viewers and listeners of USA Global TV and Radio, for joining us today. We're honoured to have your time and attention as part of our global community. At USA Global TV and Radio, we believe in the power of authentic conversations, meaningful connections, and creating a world of possibilities together. Want to be part of something bigger? Join our team of elevated listeners at usaglobaltv.com, a space where your voice matters and your ability to listen transforms relationships. Stay connected with us across all our platforms for thought-provoking discussions, expert insights, and empowering stories. Subscribe to our channels at youtube.com/c/USAGlobalTV. Follow us on social media and explore the endless opportunities we're creating for growth, learning, and inspiration. Together, we're not just broadcasting, we're building bridges and changing lives one conversation at a time. For inquiries, contact us at info@usaglobaltv.com. Produced by Executive Producer and Director Dr. Jacalyn Kerbeck. Voiceover by Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. All rights reserved. Visit usaglobaltv.com to view our full terms and conditions.